My name is Edwin Zapata, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Your Next Step, New Tools for Financial Abundance Now.
I'm Geraldine Carrier, the author of the upcoming book, Wild Woman, Master the Art of Pride, Presence, and Productivity.
A book can be more than just stories. It can engage your audience, create opportunities, generate leads, but only if you have the book work for you.
BCBtv presents Message to Millions, where we spotlight authors and get their message to millions.
Hey everybody, welcome to Message to Millions, where we spotlight authors and get their message to millions. My name is Edwin Zapata, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Your Next Step, New Tools for Financial Abundance Now, and I'm here with my co-host,
Geraldine Carrier, and I am the author of the upcoming book, Wild Woman, Master the Art of Pride, Presence, and Productivity. Today, we are interviewing an author who has done amazing things. His success story, we're going to be talking about the tips, tricks, and tools that he has to pass along to you today.
And our guest today, he is an author of his book. He is the Renaissance man of 180 and 365. He has done business in 4 different countries. He's a coach, a speaker. He's passionate about IT. He's a ninja with credit rebuilding. He is skilled in strategic partnership. He is, his website is leveragethemessage.com. And if you go to his website, you can actually get a free physical copy of his book. You just got to pay for the shipping. No big deal. So our guest, of course, is the author of the book, The E Syndrome. And he is none other, the one and only Mr. Bob Maclean.
Hello. Thank you for having me on. That's an awesome introduction. Thank you.
Awesome, Bob. So I get to ask the first question.
Go for it.
What is your book about, and how have you made the connection to actually building your business with it?
Okay. All right. That's a huge question. But let me get on to it. So the book, The E Syndrome, it's also the subtitle, The 8 Deadly Viruses That Can Kill Your Business and How to Cure Them. And the whole idea here is that this is a book for new entrepreneurs, new business owners, and it's about the major things that get in people's way to keep them from achieving the success that they're looking for. And I like to have fun while I'm working. I tell horrible jokes. We work on things, and the book is really a reflection of that, because so many books, people have great intentions. They get into it, they read the introduction, maybe the first chapter, nothing else. By keeping their attention, by keeping them amused, my hope is they'll actually read the whole darn book and get the value out of it that I worked so hard to put in there. So it is basically a humorous take on the 8 big things that stop people, and they're treated as if they're some kind of virus or medical condition, and just to keep it interesting that way. So we've got there's so many different things in here, from mental constipation to plantar financialitis and all sorts of horrible diseases like that, and we get into them all. And really, that's my approach. That's me. And so I think it's really important for people who are writing a book, going to a networking meeting, talking to people about what they do, to be themselves. There's going to be people that don't particularly care for your particular approach, but for those people that you are in alignment with, you are really going to hit it big. So be yourself, and don't worry about the ones that aren't interested, because they wouldn't have been interested anyway.
I love the way that you put that. And I remember coming across the concept of your book, because at first I thought, that's interesting to put them in the form of a disease. And then as I started to really look into how you separated the topics, one, they were quirky and humorous because it was different, right? So it actually has you engaged. And when you really look at how you break them down, they really are things that every entrepreneur faces as you start to share them. And I know you even made like a video series. So I hope the audience gets to check that out. So make sure you look for that. And the way that you structured them really showed how every person that goes through their entrepreneurship journey goes through these phases. And kind of like when you're growing up, you think, no, I know better. But look, the game is not new, and people have been there, done it before. You have a wealth of knowledge, and you've been able to put it in a book to help entrepreneurs basically cure their verbal it's not their verbal, but their own entrepreneurship diseases. So I love that concept.
That's basically it. I mean, these concepts have been around since money was invented, and they still are tried and true. You know, every speaker has. We all kind of talk about the same things, but we use our own stories and we tell it in our own way, and we connect with various people. So it's my hope that by taking this particular approach, there's going to be a group of people that really connect with the message and learn these time-honored lessons that are going to help them be the success they want to be.
Beautiful. So again, going back to my question was, what have you done with the book, right? So again, because a lot of people think that, publishing a book is they're going to fly off the shelves. What has been the most interesting thing that has happened to you since becoming an author?
Well, yeah, I can attest to the fact that all by themselves, they don't fly anywhere. You can pick one up and throw it. That's about as far as it goes. So if you want it to fly, you got to get out there and push. You got to give it wings. You got to give it a motor. You got to do something to make it fly. So that was the big thing. So many people in new businesses, whatever that business is, whether it's being an author or an accountant or whatever, set up a business. They've got their desk, their phone, they got their laptop in front of them, and then they sit and wait for the phone to ring. And of course, it never does. So one of the things that I know Black Card does stress this, but you take your book and you use it like a business card. So when I go in to see people, I always take a copy and I sign it and I hand it to them, because they may lose my card. Chances are very low that they're going to lose the book. It's something different and interesting and unique. So make sure your contact information is in the book and hand them out liberally. That's where you're going to, in my experience, get the biggest bang for your buck.
So with your experience, having done that, I want people to really understand this, because Bob is 100% correct. When you show up and you hand them a book with your face on it and basically pieces of knowledge in your book that demonstrate the experience that you had. I mean, if you put it in a book, you must have been serious about it. How have you seen the change in terms of how people interact with you once you bust out a book and you say, let me give you a copy of my book and let me sign that for you? Because that's a boss move in itself.
Yep. When you just kind of say, I'm an author, right there, you establish some special credibility. But you should say, okay, I'm an author. Okay, well, what have you authored? Well, I created some text for my website. I guess sort of technically that's an author, but it's not really. By pulling out the actual book and saying, I'm an author, I wrote this, then now you really are establishing your bona fides, and you really are something different. And it changes the tone of the conversation almost immediately. It's if you're meeting somebody for the first time, hey, Geraldine, how are you? It's nice to meet you. We might get along. It might be nice, but I haven't shown Geraldine that I can do what I say I can do. By actually introducing something physical, instantly now she's no longer wondering, can I do it, but can I do it for her? And it changes the topic that way. And it's you get right into the business now. You really leave a lot of that guesswork and that kind of touchy-feely around the edges to see just how big this might be. So that's what I found as the biggest thing. You get right into the business of things because you've established yourself as the real deal.
And what are you working on now, Bob?
Right now, I've got a couple things that I'm working on, but the big one is working with companies to help them establish strategic partnerships with each other. So a business really requires marketing, and we'll combine them with a marketing company who needs the logistics that the first company has. And both companies now rise to the top because they're getting much, like if a logistic company worked on marketing, it might be okay. It's not going to be great. Now they're getting great marketing. And the same with the marketing company. Maybe they're selling books. They're getting people out the door. If they are a marketing company, they're generating business that they're going to have a whole lot of trouble fulfilling. They'll work with a logistics company to take care of that for them. So everybody gets the best of both worlds, and all boats rise on that tide.
I love it. It's so good. And there's just so many different questions I have for you, but I'm like, what can I, you mentioned the belief piece, right? And what being an author can do for you, right? I say this all the time, if you think about, athletes and celebrities, and you think about, well, oh, they have a book, right? And it was like, do you think they woke up and, like the rest of us author types, did they wake up and they say, oh, I want to write a book? Is that like a lifelong thing that they wanted to do? But it was more so because whatever it was that they were previously known for kind of dried out and it's no longer being effective, right? So writing a book is what's going to give you those opportunities of, being featured on TV, radio, print, all that type of stuff. Now for you, how has, your background and the fact that you have written this book, how has that helped you catapult you in front of everybody else in the business world?
I have had a couple of agreements with companies that handed my book out at national meetings or meetings within the various departments, and it seemed to have gone over quite well. But a lot of the times it is by the book, like I have done some work with a couple of different police services around the world, and they're not really interested in humor. That's just not how they operate.
Who would have guessed the police?
Yeah, who would have guessed? Yeah,
in humor.
There are actually some very funny people in the police, but they tend to keep it just within themselves. But anyway, by generating a book and by handing them a book, I'm probably not going to make them laugh, or in some cases they might look at it and go, well, that's interesting, but it does show that I can write. So whether it's a report, whether it's part of something that goes out on their website, a press release, I am a professional writer, and here's my proof. So we can talk about what I can do for them in terms of writing and writing experience. So there's the book can be the thin edge of the wedge to get into a company on the marketing side, on the communications aspect. So that's really what I've used it for in a lot of instances. Just
I like that expression,
the
thin edge of the wedge. That's like perfect. It's like just enough to get in there.
That's it. It's kind of the toe in the door, right? The old door-to-door salesperson stick his toe in the door so you can't close it on him. This is my toe.
Mm-hmm. So I have one more question when it comes to that, because again, us author types, if you will, we all are people that have a heart connection to whatever it is that we're doing. And I want to know about you, what is your heart connection? What's your why? What is it that you want to give to people about, the E syndrome and what it is that you do in the world?
That's a really good question. I find myself being very grateful for the opportunities that I've had, and very, very grateful for the teachers and the mentors along the way that have helped me get to where I am. And I feel the need to give back. I feel the need to help others move forward and get past the same things that stopped me in the beginning. So, I've taught at the college level. I've done a number of other teaching in-house kinds of things, and the mentoring, the teaching and whatnot, and seeing people's faces go from puzzlement to that aha when they get it. I just love that feeling, and I just love knowing that I'm helping and giving back. I mean, I've been a cub leader and a beaver leader and a hockey coach in both boys and girls hockey. That's just, I guess that's the way I'm wired. I like to help.
Bob, I've noticed that you never stop. And like, as the world keeps turning and as technology keeps advancing, every time that you and I connect, you are always right there with the new technology, ready to take it head on. And, it's very motivating because you're all over the place with IT, and then you're like a master with IT. You know, you're helping with websites, you're doing all this technological stuff, all this stuff when it comes to like emailing and like so much more. I can't even list it all right now. You're coaching people, you're writing things. You were even working on your own television channel at one point. People don't know that, but you were working on so many things. You and your wife are honestly a power couple. And you know, for the people that are out there, so this is my question, is for the people that are out there that feel intimidated by technology, because it is moving and changing every single day, every day, something new, something different, some new currency, some new, everything's different. For those that feel intimidated, what advice do you have for those people that feel like maybe the world's moving too fast for them and that it's too much for them?
I get this one quite frequently. And I guess there's a couple of different ways to approach it. In one respect, it's kind of like a suck it up, buttercup kind of thing. The technology's here and it's coming. The automation and the robots and the artificial intelligence and all this stuff is coming. In fact, it's here. And we're going to see it more and more in general society now. So in one respect, we need to understand it and we need to be able to work with it. In another respect, as machines and as technology get more intelligent, it actually gets easier to use. I mean, who knows how cell phones work? Like I pick up my phone and I make a call. I have no idea how when I say hello, I have no idea how it ends up in the earpiece of your phone. But I don't care. It just works. And so a lot of technology can be dealt with that way. And you'll find that a lot of young people look at technology in a black box kind of way. I've got grandkids now, and they're always on tablets and they're watching videos. They're pushing buttons, they're making mistakes, they're finding what they want. And they have absolutely no idea, you know, how any of it works. They just know you push a button and their stuff comes out. So we're getting to that point with technology. I've been playing with Alexa the last little while, and that's really cool. You know, Alexa, what's the temperature like today? You know, Alexa, what's $100 Canadian dollars in US dollars? And the questions go on. It's that easy. So what we're going to see is that divide. The people who use technology, consume it, and the people who create it. And the people who consume it, they don't care. They don't need to know how it works. The other side is well, for me as a nerd and a tech guy, I'm really interested in how that part works. But I recognize that I can put people at parties to sleep, just like the technology. So I don't. But just don't worry about. Do what you need to do. Focus on the job that you're trying to get done, and then let either someone else, partnerships, or the technology itself handle it for you. You talked about being on the leading edge and whatnot. I do. I try to keep abreast with the technology in terms of robotics and AI and all that, and artificial general intelligence and intelligence augmentation and all that kind of stuff. I find it very, very interesting. But more and more, it's technology. We need to get into automation in our businesses and in our lives. You know, you talk about sending out email. Things that you see, that this is another strategic partnership between people and you know, AI or robots or however you want to look at it. There are things that robots do really, really well. You know, computer programs and apps and whatnot. They do the same thing the same way every time. They don't make mistakes. They don't forget information. They're very, very, very fast in what they do. But they're really terrible at closing a sale. Okay, they're really terrible at helping people work through problems. That's the stuff that people do really, really well. So in your business, in your life, find that technology that does the stuff that you either can't do or simply don't want to do, and then concentrate on the stuff that you really like to do, because that's where your sweet spot is. You're going to be happy. You're going to feel more fulfilled. And frankly, you do a better job for the people around you if you just concentrate on the big stuff and let somebody or something take care of the details.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple by implementing artificial intelligence. Yes.
I love it. It's amazing. Again, you've dropped so much truth bombs. You know, a lot of people can take a lot from this interview. I do, of course, have to, end our podcast with the millionaire question. What is your message to millions?
My message to millions is, don't be afraid to reach out. Again, whether that's to technology or other people. Find your team, find your village that's going to support you and help you get to where you want to go. Yes, there'll be some people that will, ignorant people who might, laugh or scoff at your dreams, but you're going to find a group of people who are going to go, that's freaking awesome. Let me know how I can help. And that's what you need to really, the wind beneath your wings. They will become that wind beneath your wings. And then you and your message will really be flying.
I love it. And how can people get a hold of you?
Take a look at the website, leveragethemessage.com. This is leveraging my message, and my email is there. You'll be able to get the book there. And actually we'll have some links to those videos that we talked about a little earlier as well. So that's where you can go to find out all about me, and we'll just take it from there. Let's meet, let's say hello and see how we can help each other.
Awesome.
That was brilliant. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here with us. Of course, we have a gift for you, which is the Millionaire Mindset by the incredible Gerry Robert himself. If you do want to pick that up, you can get that at bit.ly/BCB books. And that's our free gift to you for being here. We'll see you on the next one.
BCBtv. Believe, create, become.